Welcome to another 3D Printers Online tutorial. Today we're going to be adding supports to a model in Chitubox. First of all, we're going to want to inspect the entire model and look for any overhangs it might need support in. We then want to select the best area, which is this corner on this model, that will let us place supports. We're then going to rotate the model onto a 30 to 40 degree angle, in this case 40 degrees. And this is going to help with eliminating voxel lines on the print, which is caused by the LCD. Then we can go over to the settings panel, and you'll want to raise the model between 2.5 and 5mm off the build plate. This is a medium sized model, so we're going to use medium supports. We can then see that our negative overhangs have been highlighted in red. We can drag the layer shift down, then we're going to want to add supports in a straight line along the bottom. This is where the print's going to begin, so you want to have a fair few so it has a solid foundation to build on. Try to get this line of supports as straight as you possibly can. Next, we're going to look at the model to inspect the supports that we placed, and then we're going to add another line up each side of the initial line, and this will support the model as it begins to build higher. Now that we have a solid foundation on the base of the model, we can raise the slider up to view the rest of the model as we add more supports. We can see there's another overhang that's highlighted in red. Now we want to add supports leading up to this. You'll notice that we're spacing the supports further apart, and that's because as you move further up the model, you've already supported it more densely at the base, so the need for dense supports isn't there. You'll want to build up both sides so that the print is equally supported as it prints. Then we're going to put two more up the center to support the model even better. You'll notice as we zoom in onto this circle that it's got a small part which isn't fully supported, so we're going to add another support there just as a backup. We can then rotate the slider up more, and we'll see that there isn't very many overhangs left now. So now we can see that this large area is overhanging, but it's not negative, so we'll still need to support it so it prints properly during the printing process. We're going to add spaced out supports up the entire length of this overhang. Try to keep these supports as close to the edge, as it will minimize warping on the edges. You can then repeat the same on the other side. Next, we're going to add another bead of supports right up the center of the model, just to give it a bit more stability. Now we can inspect the model and we can see that it's fairly well supported. There's no negative overhangs highlighted in red that aren't supported, and the whole model overall is supported very well. We can then go back down on the slider and we can raise the levels as if it was printing on the printer to double check that we've got everything correctly supported. You can see that circle that we supported is now supported a lot better than if it wasn't, which is going to help it avoid warping. Next, we're going to click onto the settings for slicing the model. We're going to click on the plus icon, which will take us to all the printers loaded on Chitubox. We can then scroll down till we get to frozen. we're going to print on the Sonic Mini, so we'll select the Sonic Mini and click OK, and this will load our printer. This will give us some information about the printer. We can select our resins from the profiles above. Then, in resin, we can select the cost of our material, which will calculate print costs for us. And then in the resin settings, we can change them if we need to. Then, we can go down to the Slice button and click on Slice, and this will begin preparing our model to print. Once it's finished slicing, you can see the settings up the side, and this will give you the volume, the weight, the cost of the print, and a rough estimate of the time it will take to print. We can then scroll down on the slider, and this will give us a preview of each layer of the printing. Doing this will ensure that the slicing process hasn't added any spots that shouldn't be there that will fail your printing. Once you've done this, you can click on Save and save it to your USB ready to print on your printer.